Welcome back to Montreal.
Thank you.
How's it feel to be here as the reigning champion this time?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously we won here last year, but it's always great to come back to Montreal because it's such a great city. The fans are getting more and more every single year for Formula One, and it's a circuit that I really enjoy racing around, so I just can't wait to be back.
One of the unique things about the sport is kind of all of the pressures that you have, both on the sponsorship side and on the media side. Just for example, we are in a kind of a unique place to be doing an interview right now, at least from my perspective of things.
Sure.
Just tell us about where we are and why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, we're here with IWC at the moment, and we've been a partner of the team for, well over 10 years now. I don't know exactly the number, and with myself personally for the past 5 years. So it's such a valued partner, and it's a huge part of our job because at the end of the day, we can't go racing without the fans, without the sponsors. And we've got quite a few people outside waiting as well to sort of see a bit of the action.
Most athletes really want to just focus on the actual sport itself. Balancing all that kind of things, that's something you have to get better at over the years, or
does that
come naturally?
You definitely need to find that right balance. The big difference in Formula One comparing with football, as an example, is we aren't allowed to practice in Formula One cars away from the races. Is regulated that we're only allowed to do 3 days of practice outside of the season. So we had the race in Miami 2 weeks ago. We have not been allowed to drive the cars between until tomorrow when we practice ahead of the Grand Prix. So that offers the time which the teams like for a lot of the sponsorship activity. I'd love to be driving 3, 4, 5 days a week, but that just isn't the case for all of the drivers in F1.
Well, that makes kind of your start to the Mercedes season all that more impressive, especially with the new regulations that you're able to kind of get such a jump start on the rest of the field. How did you accomplish that?
I mean, I'd love to take the credit, but it's definitely not. Kimi and I, my teammate, have had the pleasure of driving this incredible machine, and we have 2,500 people back at the factory who are incredibly talented, dedicated. We've come off the back of 4 tough years where we haven't won many races, and we've come out the blocks flying, and this 2026 season has been a big focus for the team for the last 3 or 4 seasons now, because it was such a big shift with the regulations. So really proud that we have started on the front foot. We're 4 races in, there's at least 18 to go, there may be even more, so we can't take it for granted.
The regulations, they were put in place, I guess, to make it a little bit more dynamic for the fans, a bit more passing. How do you think that's going to play out on Circuit Gilles Villeneuve?
I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. I think, as I said, we've only had 4 races. Each race has had its own uniqueness with the battles between the drivers, sometimes overtaken and being repassed. I think we could see the same again here in Montreal. Historically, it hasn't been the easiest track to overtake because it is quite tight, it is quite narrow. But with these new cars, a lot can change, and there's a big chance of rain on Sunday, so that would throw it all into the mix.
One thing that a lot of people are grabbing onto this year was Max Verstappen's comment about it being a little bit like Mario Kart or something like that. What do you think about that?
I mean, naturally, when you don't have the car beneath you and you're not fighting at the front, it is more frustrating. And the truth is, this new era, it is different to what we've experienced in the past, and even the previous era was different compared to what we experienced 20 years ago when it was the V10 engines, super loud, really small, narrow cars, but there was no overtaking at all. So, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and he is obviously extremely, fantastic at racing and has a lot of experience. And I think we'd all, as drivers, love to have the fastest, the loudest race cars in the world, but the fans want to see great racing, and you can argue the racing this year has been better than ever.
And the racing and just even the competition within your team has been so strong this year. Kimi Antonelli coming out of the blocks, so strong. And there's that interesting dynamic in F1 where you have, he's your teammate, but he's also your greatest competitor. How are you seeing this battle shaping up, and what do you think of what he's been able to do this year?
Yeah, I mean, he's done an amazing job, and of course, the last few races have been super strong. As I said before, it's a long season, and for me is to try and make sure I'm on top at the end of the season, and try and bounce back after a tough weekend in Miami. But I know what I'm capable of doing. We won the first race of the season in Melbourne, and as I said, just looking forward to racing here in Montreal.
I have to also ask you about, because it's in May, not in June, which is a bit of a different situation for the city here.
Sure.
And hockey fever's kind of grabbed Montreal right now with the Montreal Canadiens playing in the semifinals. Are you a hockey fan at all?
I got to be honest, not massively, no, because obviously in the UK it's not a huge sport, but I'm definitely aware of how big it is this weekend and this season, and seeing all the flags around the city as well.
Well, yeah, the passion in this city is just absolutely off the charts for both F1 and for hockey. We wish you all the best on the track this weekend, and thanks so much for spending some time with me.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.